Another day, another wrong gear. This time we're talking exhaust. Because, well, I feel like it. It's a good reason. So to me, I'm kind of done with them, man. I'm kind of done with loud exhaust on cars. I struggle sometimes with my sensories, right? Like, I'm not full-blown autistic or anything like that, but sometimes it can be a little much for me, and that's mostly because I work in an office now, and when I'm not in the office, it's still not very loud in the facility I'm in. It's over there, actually. We just passed it. And when I'm at home, I mean, it's just me and the dog in the house, and my dog's usually the loudest thing, unless I'm yelling at the computer or something, because I screwed something up. Usually that's what happens there, but, you know, everything around me is not very loud anymore. So, going to car shows and stuff, when people start all the rev battling and all that goofiness, I can't take it anymore. And when they really sound bad, and it's just loud to be loud, it's not loud to sound good, it's not, you know, it's raspy, or it sounds like gravel going down a sewer pipe with somebody farting against it in resistance, I don't know. I can't do it, and it kind of starts to really get at my nerves and overload my brain. Like, it just can't take it. And it's weird, because, you know, 16-year-old me was like, every car needs an exhaust. It needs at least a fart can. And now I'm just kind of like, you know, I need a nice valved muffler, something a little bit louder than stock, but not much, and where I can just reach over, push a button, and shut it up when I want it. It's kind of silly, but, you know, that's just me. That's where my preferences have turned. That's where my wants have gone. It's getting older and getting more mature and realizing what sounds good versus just what sounds or makes sounds. I've had a variety of cars. V8s, 4-cylinders, and flat 6s, Boxer 4s, whatever. You know, I've had all kinds of crazy configurations, rotaries, and yeah, there's a couple cars that stand out to me that were about perfect. I had a Indy MX-5. It was a 2016 club. I would occasionally switch from a muffler delete to a stock muffler. It wasn't like a valved exhaust or a cutout. It was manually taking the muffler delete off and putting the muffler back in, because sometimes I just wanted to drive and quiet. But even with the muffler delete on, it wasn't obnoxiously loud, which is surprising. So that was a really good example of, okay, it can be louder and it can still sound good, and it's not overly loud. I had a 986 Porsche Boxster where I drilled some holes in behind the tippies there to kind of penetrate that cross chamber to let a little bit more sound out. It is a common thing people do when they want a free exhaust mod because they're too broke to buy Porsche mufflers and stuff. And it's tacky, but it doesn't sound awful. It just opens up the noise level a little bit. And that was great. When you were just driving it normally, you know, you didn't hear the intake scoops on the side of the car drawing in, gulping in air. And when you had your foot down, well, then you heard gulping air and a roaring engine. You know, it was, you couldn't ask for a better setup on that. Even with the soft top, you know, you hear a lot more the road noise and what's going on around you, and it's still like, it drove pretty nice and quiet for the most part until you put your foot down. When you put your foot down, it makes some noise. Lamborghini Huracan. That Huracan was a good example, actually. It barely heard it going by. You heard the coming out of it, but it wasn't obnoxiously loud. And inside the car, he probably hears it, but it's not ear-piercingly loud. In fact, you could probably drown it out with the radio a couple clicks, you know. Bingo. But when you got kids straight piping BQ Nissan engines and, you know, the Mustangs and the Chargers and the Camaros and all the V8 boys, with how loud those exhausts are getting, they don't even sound good. Like, it just gets to a point where it's too loud, it doesn't even sound great. And nothing's funnier than when you hear the loud exhaust and you hear them flooring it, and then you look and it's like they're still there. It sounds like they're going a lot faster, but they're still there. So, for me personally, valved exhaust is the way to go. And I think if I do get into a sports sedan here in the near future, because I think around February, this thing might be gone. And a couple of the cars in the running are the Genesis G70. I test drove one of those, and I can't believe this, but I really liked it. Very surprising car. Even in the 2.5 turbo, very surprising car. A Toyota Camry hybrid, because I get a really good discount on one. The GR86, but there's a slight problem with the GR86. After I test drove a premium, I was a premium 6-speed, and I realized that it takes quite a bit of revs to get the thing moving. Like, even just, from a red light, it's like, come on, baby. I had to rev it a lot higher than I expected to, and the interior's kind of loud with induction noise. I don't know if it's just the sound tube that they have piped into the glove box or whatever that's bringing all that sound into the cabin, or if it maybe had a TRD exhaust on it. It was a used 8.6, so it didn't have the window sticker with factory install options. It did have some big old round muffler tips on it, but I didn't crawl under there to see if it was a TRD branded muffler or just a normal, probably Denso or something like that muffler. But yeah, it wasn't a bad car. It was a nice car, but it was just too loud on the inside for me, which is weird. And another one I've been considering is the MX-5. I'd really kind of like an RF Grand Touring Plus or something like that. I want the Grand Touring with the club goodies on it too. I want the limited slip and the Bilstein shocks, but I also want the heated seats and all that, fun little extra stuff. And unfortunately, it's pretty expensive to go that route. But I don't remember my Indy Club being very loud on the inside driving it, except for when I had the top down and the muffler delete on. But those are kind of my picks right now. And Mazda, to continue selling, I guess, or to continue meeting regulations in Japan for the MX-5, apparently had to further muffle the MX-5, which I think is strange, because like I said, I don't remember that being a loud car. But it's been probably 5-6 years since I've driven an Indy, so I don't know. Actually, maybe even longer than that. It's probably been closer to 10 years, but wow, that car's been out for a while. But I'm still considering it, and I just remember it being a nice, kind of pleasant drive like this most of the time, especially with the stock exhaust on it. And mine was a soft top. I did drive an RF before I bought the soft top, and it was definitely a little quieter inside with some actual material that isn't cloth above your head, like a fiberglass top or whatever material that is made out of. Yeah, I don't know. Getting old, your tastes change, and you realize what used to sound good to you no longer does. And that's where I'm at in my life. Part of me wants to just buy like the Camry hybrid, use my discount. Financially, it's a good idea. Gas mileage is a good idea, and then buy my weekend car where I can kind of not have to necessarily worry about. I mean, even if I bought a weekend car, a little fun project car, and it had an exhaust on it, it wouldn't be loud. It would be pretty tame, because that's what I enjoy now. I don't like the super loud, obnoxious, annoy your neighbors and their neighbors, and then the 3 neighbors 4 blocks away from you too. I don't want the pops and bangs on my exhaust. I want a little bit of noise for the back road drives. You can hear what gear you're in and how close you are to the rev limit. But I don't want everyone to know where I'm at on that tachometer. So call me crazy, call me old. I'll give you old, but I don't know. I just can't go as crazy yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not crazy yet. The conversations I have in my head end up being relevant at some point, so I think I'm still good there. But goodbye.